Have you missed me? I've missed you. Let's get right into it. Let's start off with Timothy and Vinegar. Why was I about to call her Timothy and Jennifer? So Timothy is telling the producers this, sensual story about him and Jennifer. And he's just like, yeah, we got really close, so close that we fell asleep together. Timothy, go home. Just go home. This is not working out. This entire episode, I just kept on screaming at the TV, Timothy, go home. Like, this is not working out for you. Because even when Jennifer comes in and he tries to have this sex talk with her, it sounds like a transaction. When he was talking to her, he's just like, yeah, eventually when a relationship progresses, it progresses into sex. I'm like, what woman is getting aroused by that, Timothy? What woman? What, Jennifer, just get another job. This life ain't for you. You can't get a successful man in Colombia? Are they all coke dealers? One of them gotta be legit. But you know what, sis, you seem like a drug dealer girlfriend. Like, you seem like you be okay with that. Why are you messing around with Timothy? So then Timothy goes to visit Jennifer's grandparents, and while he's there, they're asking him questions about just, trying to get to know him a little bit better. And they ask him if he likes Colombia. Timothy, oh yeah, I love Colombia. I've been here about 5 times. When he said that, the whole table got quiet. Jennifer's grandmother, she was eating and she was like, and her grandfather gave him a side eye like, and then Jennifer was like, oh, 5 times? She started eating whatever she was eating. She started chewing that chicken real hard. First of all, that chicken looked delicious. What were they eating? Was like fried chicken. Was it fried chicken and some rice or something? That food looked delicious. But Jennifer, I'm telling you, women, I don't know why we are not all running the FBI, because she knew right away. As soon as he said that he has visited Colombia several times, like about 5 times, she stopped eating her chicken and she looked up and she started chewing that chicken and she started looking at him. And then she went back to eating her food. She knew. She already knew what was up, because ain't no man visiting Colombia 5 times just to hang out at a friend's place. Are you kidding me? 5 times you're visiting Colombia? You come here for some tail. You're just not vacationing in Colombia. Now, if you're going down to the Jersey Shore, that's another thing, but only if you're from the East Coast. You come to Colombia 5 times just to vacation. Boy, please, the jig is up. Jennifer already knew what the game was. Let's talk about Timothy for a second, because Timothy then reveals to the producer his secret is that he has an ex in Colombia. He was coming here all of those times to meet with this woman. I think he said that he met her in America, but they continue to meet up and hang out in Colombia. This is my thing, and this is why I'm questioning this storyline. He said he met her in America, but he didn't specify. Does his ex live in America, or was she visiting America and he just so happened to meet her while she was visiting America, and then she had to come back here and they started hanging out here? If she's from America and she's somehow in Colombia coincidentally at the same time as Timothy, I'm gonna think that this storyline is fake. And if that's the case, the only person who I think is in on the storyline is Timothy and the producers, because the way Jennifer is acting, I'm just like, there's no way that she could be faking this. Homegirl is giving us some real emotion. If she is acting, sis, you better hurry up and get over to America, because baby, the acting you giving got Days of Our Lives written all over it. Has that show been canceled? Is Bold and the Beautiful the only soap still playing, or is it Days of Our Lives? You know what? I wish they would bring back Passions. That was my shout. So Timothy's in Colombia visiting Jennifer, and his ex is constantly hitting him up, and he's just like, I have to finally say something to Jennifer about it. So they go out to dinner, and he's just like, yeah, well, I gotta tell you something. And the way he was doing it, I was just like, Timothy is that guy who didn't get a lot of attention growing up, didn't get a lot of attention as an adult, but started to work in guns or whatever and started to get some money and is using that to be this flashy guy. And now that his money is finally bringing him the attention that he desires, he's going after women, hot-headed women who will react to the games that he plays and gives him this kind of attention that he craves from women. Because I noticed just in his dating life, so far with the women that we have seen, he dates very hot-headed, aggressive women. And I think he only does that so that he can push their buttons and get a reaction out of him. And that makes him feel like a man, like a desired man, because this woman that he is playing, literally playing with her mind and manipulating her spirit, he's getting her all out of whack by the games that he's playing. And he gets off on that because it makes him feel like he's this hot, desirable man, because he knows without his money and without his games, he cannot have this woman in this position. Jimmy Neutron finally tells Jennifer what he's been doing and that his ex has been texting him, and that's why he's been acting all weird. And then he sits back and he waits for her to react. And let me tell you something. Yes, Jennifer is with Jimmy Neutron for the coins, right? But he's okay with that. He knows that when a woman is with him, it's for his money. He's okay with that. So if he's not mad about it, I ain't mad about it, right? But you're not going to play her. He told her that his ex from Colombia that she just found out about was texting him. I'm telling you, Black and Latina women are one and the same. Let me tell you something. Jennifer had the same reaction that I would have, because she's sitting over here listening to him and she's just like, really? Wow. You know, it's just like, oh my goodness. I would have had the same reaction. Like, you're sitting here telling me that all of a sudden you got this ex that's in the same neighborhood that I am in, and she's texting you. She suddenly started texting you when you got here. How the hell did she know that you was here? So Jennifer is taking all of this in, and then she's just like, give me your phone. So she takes his phone and she sees that he has this woman in his phone as mommy. And Jimmy Neutron is just like, oh, that's the name that she likes to be called. Guys, he did this on purpose. He wanted to push her buttons to get the reaction that she is about to give him. So Jennifer sees that her man still calls his ex mommy. She throws his phone and simultaneously in one swoop picks up her purse and her drink at the same damn time, throws her purse over her shoulder and throws her drink on Timothy and sachets out of that restaurant. I said, go here, girl. That's exactly what you do. Don't let this dude play you. It's an arrangement. He know why you here. You know why you here. It's an arrangement. You two are in it together. But what he not going to do is play you. Not for no coin. Not for no coin. But Timothy wanted that, because when Jennifer threw the drink on him, he just sat there and he was just like, this is why I didn't want to tell her. He's reveling in it. He loves this kind of attention. Timothy is not a good guy. He is not a good guy. Jennifer, there has to be a drug kingpin that you can go to. You don't need Timothy. Now let's get into Avery and Omar. Guys, Omar wants out of this. Omar is ready to get the ASAP, okay? He is so done. He wants to get out of this whole situation. He keeps on trying to find ways to like crash this marriage, right? So he meets with Avery's mama about the dowry. He lets Avery's mama know that just in case like the relationship doesn't work out, there is a dowry that I will pay out to your family if, you know, me and Avery don't get along and we decide to get divorced or I die. There's a dowry that I or my estate will pay out to you. That is the law, right? So he's trying to get her to come down on the price, because the mom was like, well, all right, I want $10,000. He was like, 10,000, I'm a student. Can we do like 5? And she was like, because this is my child. And if anything happens, I want to make sure that she will be well taken care of by you, because I'm giving my child over to you. You told me about this law. So now since you told me about it, I want what's rightfully my child's. So then Avery's mom is just like, you have sisters? And he was like, yeah. And she was just like, well, how much was their dowry? And he was like, well, it was about $6,000. She said, well, okay, I'm going to be fair. I want that. And I was just like, Mom, you just got scammed. Here is why, guys. I think that Omar is just like, this ain't gonna work. He has been around Avery for a few days and he just knows that she's an American kid, to be quite honest with you, right? And she also not only has American privilege, she has white privilege. So Omar is just like, this is a lot for me to deal with. And just in the moments of meeting her, the days of spending time with her, he sees that Avery is a whiner, that Avery is very, very young. And American 19 is not Syrian 19. You know what I mean? They have been through some things. So they are very, you know, even at their young age, Syrians are very mature. And Omar is just like, I live a certain life. I don't have all these things that this woman is used to. I don't feel like this. So let me sit down with her mother and talk about the dowry, because that is the law, not only of where we are getting married, but it's the law of my religion. So let me just handle this now and make sure the dowry is at a price that I can afford to pay, because I need to keep my payments low. I think he's preparing for it all to fall apart, and he wants to make sure that if it does, when he has to do his part of paying this dowry, it's something that he can actually commit to. $10,000, he probably was just like, oh my goodness, if it's $10,000, I'm gonna have to stick with this nagging woman. Because Avery is very spoiled. She seems very, very spoiled to me. On top of that, she's very young and American, and it's just not gonna work. It's just not going to work. He didn't get the low dowry that he was going for, but I think he got something that he can manage, in a few months when him and Avery get divorced. If it ever really happens. Because guys, I'm watching this dude. He is trying to get out of this situation. I honestly think the only reason why Omar has stayed around is because he signed a contract with this show, and he's a guy that doesn't come from much. So whatever this show is giving him is something that he really needs, because I just see him in all the scenes and he is just like 2 seconds from running. But Avery and her mama don't see it. Avery's mama is still trying to make this wedding happen. She has had so many windows. She just had a window with the dowry. She could have been like, I want $50,000, and that's it. Omar couldn't fight that because that is what she's requesting. And that could have been Omar's out to be like, oh, I can't do it. It's too much money. There are so many windows for her to get out of the situation with her child, but she just keeps on pushing it. She wants, oh my God, does she want Avery out of her house? Lord, she want Avery out of her house, and Omar don't want to bring her to his. Avery, are you that annoying? You know what, Omar? I know you need this check, right? But I feel like you need to give Avery an Irish goodbye and save yourself the headache. Save yourself the headache, because you and this girl are not going to work, bro. You see it. We see it. What are you doing? Irish goodbye. I do them all the time. All the time. And people are like, goodness, you left the party. I ain't see you leave. And this is me. Oh my goodness, I did. I said bye to you. Maybe you were just so busy you didn't hear me. Because this is the thing. If you say goodbye when you're leaving a party, so many people are going to try to talk to you. And the next thing you know, it's an hour to 2 hours later than the time that you wanted to leave. Sometimes you just got to slip out the back door and text the group and be like, I made it home safe. Darcey and Tom. Listen, say what you want. This couple is good TV. So we open up with this couple in the bed and they're like making sounds and I'm just uncomfortable. Darcey's just like, how was last night? Ooh. And Tom was just like, it was so much fun. I can't do his accent because I don't even know where it's from. Because I done thought it was an upper class accent. Y'all done told me that he working class and he's scamming. Anyway, so he's sitting on a bed. He's all bruised and beat up because they finally had sex. And apparently Darcey is just rough because this man not only has a sprained ankle, he also has a busted lip. Darcey, what are you doing to these men? I was just like, what kind of throwing it back did you do to Tom? And Darcey, for some reason, thinks that just because she banged Tom's penis into an oblivion, that now he's going to want to marry her. I'm like, sweetie, let's make some sense here. You done had sex with this man. You done beat him up so bad he can't walk and he can barely talk. He has to contemplate if he wants to spend the rest of his life getting sex concussions from this woman in these Gucci boots. Let him have some space and think about these kind of decisions. Oh my goodness, Darcey is so impatient. And you would think with the issues that she had with, I was about to call him Jacob, Jesse, the issues that she had with him, you would think that she would probably want to move at a slower pace with Tom and get to know him a bit more because of the issues that she had with Jesse. But she's not. She's rushing everything so fast. She was trying to sleep with the man as soon as she got off the plane. He was uncomfortable. She's finally had sex with him after she beat him up during this romper room sex session that they had. Now, the next day, they're hanging out and she is talking about rings and getting married. I get that they talked about that, right? I was totally on board with Tom, however, when he was just like, listen, we had a relationship where we talked off and on, back and forth for about 3 years. Now we're finally meeting each other in person. We have to take our time to get to know each other, to see if this is what we both want. But Darcey barely knows this man and she is all in. Also, can we talk about how I honestly believe that she was still talking to Tom while she was still with Jesse? Because there's no way. Darcey says she was talking off and on with Tom for 3 years. Then all of a sudden she got into this relationship with Jesse. Now, as soon as she gets out of this relationship with Jesse, she is ready to marry Tom. Darcey was still talking to this man. She was still talking to this man when she was with Jesse, because there's no way that she's all in after just reconnecting with him a few weeks ago. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Darcey, you being messy too. We still don't like Jesse, but Darcey, you sure is messy. See what I did there? Work. Talent. Let's talk about Darcey and this Sunset Boulevard sex worker outfit that she wore to the club. She could not keep them titties in. And I was just, when she was sitting down, I was just like, her nipples are about to make their national TV debut, because they were just sitting right on the cusp of that bustier. I was like, Darcey, how can you breathe? Anyway, her and Tom go out to the club, and he lets her know before they get there that one of the ladies there is his ex. Now, Tom did not specify who his ex was when we met his two friends, but baby, I can gander who the ex just might be. And I put money on the fact that it's that messy Rochelle with them terrible eyebrows. I was looking at her and I was looking at Darcey, and I was just like, okay, this isn't a scam. Tom has a type. Tom has a type, because just from the bad weave, no shade, Darcey, but your weave be all over the place. You had one good blowout weave job that you put on your Instagram, and I was like, sis, work. That looked great, but I think it was filters. Anyway, Rochelle got the same bad weave. Darcey got better eyebrows though. Darcey is an upgrade from Rochelle. No shade, Rochelle. The fillers and stuff and the eyebrows that are a little crooked. You was giving me Halloween. I was just like, is it October 31st? Like, what is going on here, right? Guys, it confirmed for me. This is the real deal. Tom has a type. Rochelle got the cheeks. Darcey got the cheeks. Botched. Rochelle got the titties. Darcey got the titties. But I will give Darcey this. Darcey got her beat in eyebrows and fashion, because Rochelle was giving me Delia's. I was just like, what is this? Delia Charlotte Russe dress? What in the hell is happening here? Darcey is definitely an upgrade for Tom, but guys, Tom has a type. Ratchet. Tom loves a ratchet woman all across the diaspora, no matter where that woman is from. If she ratchet, Tom's getting a little boner. Who knew? You know what? It's because that's who he is. That's who he is. This upper crust man, but you ratchet, so you like a little ratchet woman. Okay, Tom, I see you. I see you. Even in drunkenness, Darcey and Rochelle are the same damn thing, because 2 scenes in and Rochelle is toasted. She's slurring her words in her confessional. She can't even stand up straight. I was just like, oh my goodness. Rochelle is literally the Are You Being Served version of Darcey. Like, all the way to the T. Wow, Tom. Wow. Did you guys watch Are You Being Served growing up? That was a great show. Great show. That was one of the shows that actually made me want to become an actress. That and Sounder with Cicely Tyson. I was just like, I have to do this. I have to do this because I enjoyed what they were doing, and I wanted to do the same thing for other people. Aww. That was some good acting on that show. Michael and Donald Trump in the sundress. So you guys remember in the last episode where I thought that Michael was getting carjacked. Actually, it is the Nigerian Parking Authority. Like, that is how they get people to pay fines, because they was not going to let Michael leave because he was parked in a no parking zone. They threw spikes in front of his car and they were not going to let him leave until he paid a fine. I was like, wow, who knew that the Nigerian Parking Authority was the same damn thing as the Los Angeles Parking Authority? They are both demonic. Something. You park your car in Los Angeles, all you got to do is blink and they are towing your car. Demons. All of them demons. I will say this about Angela. She is a ride or die. She is a ride or die. She was out there punching them grown men in the face all over her little double cheeked up man. She was not having it. And then when they finally got in a car, she was just like, I'll go to jail in Nigeria tonight over my man. I said, wait a minute. Angela, are you in your 50s and you still a ride or die chick? You get out of being a ride or die at like 16. You know what I mean? Especially when you start to realize that being a ride or die chick means that your credit gonna be messed up and you probably gonna do time in prison. But Angela is still about that life at her big age. Child, what ghetto does she live in? What country ghetto does Angela live in? Okay, so now let's talk about the scene that almost made me quit the show. So Michael starts to talk about how intense his sex is with Angela. And guys, I feel like this show should have put a trigger warning before this talk and the next scenes coming up, because I wasn't ready. I was very uncomfortable. Michael was talking about how intense and how rough she is. Then she pulled out some boxers and gave him these boxers with Donald Trump on his wee-wee. And he came out of the bathroom in these boxers and he was pumping his penis at Angela. I was uncomfortable. I was so uncomfortable. I didn't need to see her handcuffing him to stuff and telling him all the stuff they're gonna do. I'm uncomfortable right now. We didn't need that, TLC. Please don't do that again. We are fans of this show. You should treat us better. We deserve better. Now let's talk about how horrible Angela is. So Angela is now getting mad at Michael because he celebrated his birthday without her. They are now going to the boat or some dock or whatever to celebrate his birthday. While they're driving there, she's getting upset, pissing herself off because she already had attitude and cussed him out about it before she even got to Nigeria. She's complaining, just being very negative and nasty towards him. And then they finally get there and she gets triggered by a boat because Michael posted a picture of him on a boat with a girl and she thinks that this is the same place. And then she starts saying these terrible things about him. She starts beating on him, gets out of the car, tells him that she's kicking him out of her room and that he's not going to get another dime from her because he spent the $60 that she sent him for his birthday to go have some drinks with his nephew at a bar. Michael, do you really need this citizenship that bad? Like, is it that bad that you need to get over here? You got to deal with this. There's no other woman that can take care of you. Angela is your only choice. Well, at this point, he really doesn't have any other options because she is literally taking care of him. Michael is Thickie Minaj from all of the support that Angela is sending his way. Because, baby, when Michael was eating that chicken while arguing with Angela, I said, Michael, put the chicken down. He was tearing that chicken up. The way Michael was eating his chicken, guys, I was trying to find this chicken spot in Nigeria because I was like, I gotta go. I have to go now because Michael is eating this chicken like Jesus himself fried it. I think because Michael and Angela are just so funny and entertaining, we don't talk about how problematic their relationship is and how, in my opinion, Angela is using this young black guy for sex. I think Michael is a fetish for her. I think that she sees in him something that she's always wanted, not realizing that when you go after somebody because of their skin color, that you get what you get because you're approaching that person with impure intentions. Like, I'm not saying that you can't be attracted to somebody over something that's like their skin, right? But when you're attracted to somebody based on their skin color because you think because of the color of their skin that they're going to be a certain way or have certain things like a large penis and all of that stuff, and just the ignorant things that you're thinking about that person is something that you desire, that you want, that to me is an impure intention because I'm attracted to like very dark skinned men. Like, that is like my thing. I've dated all over, but I really like melanated men like that. Not my thing, but it's something that just attracts me. It attracts me right away. The same way with men with curly hair. I just really like men with curly hair. And you know what? I was about to list all the things that I'm attracted to in men, and I realized, oh God, listen, we're family. I'm just going to be honest here. I realized I'm attracted to myself. Because I was going to be like, I also like a man with dimples. And I'm like, wait. How vain? How vain? It is what it is. I think that she's going after Michael because he is her mandingo fetish. I think that she sees him and she gets out of him what she desires. She throws him a couple of dollars and then she comes to Nigeria and she does all of this like intense, weird sex stuff with him and gets a little country rock song. And then if her little toy does something that she is not okay with, she abuses him. She verbally abuses him. She physically abuses him. This is a very problematic relationship because we're seeing somebody harm and take advantage of someone who is in need. Because Michael wouldn't be with Angela if he did not see her as a way out of his financial distress. I get that this relationship is an arrangement for the both of them, but when she just starts verbally assaulting him and then putting her hands on him, it crosses a line for me. She can get her little mandingo fetish off if Michael is willing to participate, right? There are people who do that. Oh my goodness. I read an article. You know what? I ain't even gonna put that in the atmosphere. Y'all don't need to know about that. But child, there are people who got some weird kinks. If Michael knows that he is serving up his black peen to Angela because she got a thing for it, that's on him. He grown. Accepting money from this woman that he is tricking with his African peen. It is what it is. That's on him. But when she starts mistreating him, that's where I got a problem. Because it makes me uncomfortable to watch this because they're funny. They are a really funny couple. They have great like comedic chemistry, but she always crosses the line. She is very abusive, which is why she does not have really great relationships with her kids, because her daughter will not waste time. Whenever she's on camera, she always lets us know, me and my mom do not have a great relationship. And I'm like, girl, I understand. Your mother's nasty. She is a nasty person. So that's my only issue with this couple, because they're both grown, they're both participating in this, but ma'am, you're not gonna sit here and cuss him out and beat up on him and kick him out of your room and all that stuff. Like, that's not cool. That's not cool. So Rebecca, also known as White R. Kelly, she goes to meet Zied's parents, and it's just not going well. As soon as she gets in, she knocks over a family heirloom. They sit down to eat. She starts talking about our ex, or just like alluding to it, because when she was saying that she's had Moroccan food before, Zied's father was like, how's she having Moroccan food? When did she have it? Has she traveled here before? Like, when you mention stuff like that, like the same thing that Timothy did, the family starts asking questions and wants to know. So then Zied brings up that she's had Moroccan food before because her ex is Moroccan. And then the parents all of a sudden start having a conversation with each other with their eyes. And I think the conversation was, this white woman has come into our home and she is about to take our son to America and sex traffic him. Because what else could you possibly think where you have this older white woman who is jumping up and down on your son, who has also revealed to you that your son is not the first brown foreign thing that she has tasted before? That's automatic concern. I really respect Zied's parents, because out of all the immigrants that I have seen on any of these 90 Day Fiance shows, Zied's parents are the only ones who are just like, I'm not okay with this. I do not want this. I don't care where she comes from. I don't care what privileges she has. This is my child, and I don't want them to be in this situation. They don't care nothing about Rebecca and her privileges and everything that she has and how she can give her son a better life. They don't care nothing about that. They want their son to be okay, and they are very concerned about him and keeping their eye on Rebecca, and I respect them for that. I really, really do. Now, I'm not going to say that tattoos are not a big deal in the Muslim faith. One of the main reasons why I'm not going to say that is because I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm not Muslim, so I'm not going to speak on that. But what I will say is Rebecca went to get some rice and you could see her tattoos. Zied's father noticed the tattoos and he started talking to his son about them. He was like, can she remove them? And Zied was like, oh, maybe she can, like, you know, lying and saying that she could remove those arm tattoos. Who wants to go through all of that pain? And especially if these are tattoos that you wanted. Rebecca, who is Miss Independence, is not going to allow anything to happen to her tattoos. She's not gonna let a Moroccan man tell her what to do with her body again. Anyway, the father is saying that if Rebecca can't get rid of the tattoos, then he cannot accept her into their family. I don't believe that. I think that the father knows that the tattoos are a big deal and cannot be removed. And if they are going to be removed, it's going to take time. It's going to be a process. The dad knows. The dad knows that that is probably something that you cannot remove. And I believe that he is using that as his window to not approve of this marriage. Now let's talk about Benjamin and Akinyi. So guys, Akinyi, I love her. I love her. She is good TV, because when she is sitting down, like just hanging out with Benjamin, she's like holding his hand, looking at his body, and she's just like, you're so white. You're so very white. I love the fact that she is direct. There's no filter with Akinyi. She tells you what's on her mind. It is what it is. So she's telling this man, holding his arm, telling him that he's so white and he's so hairy. And then when she's saying this, you're so white, you're so hairy. So how did you get along with my brother? Like, she didn't even put another sentence in there to transition to this thought. She just said it and it was just like, what do you think of my brother? Like, how did you guys get along? Like, she did not just tell this man that he is so white and so hairy. Benjamin had the same face that I did, because I'm like, girl, you're not going to say anything else to, like, segue into this comment about your brother. You just gonna leave it at that? I love her. I love her. And let me just say this. I'm not from where Akinyi is from. I don't know anybody from that area. But I think that they're kind of playing up Benjamin being white. I feel like it's too much. I feel like it's too much. The whole, my father doesn't like white people. My village has never met a white person. Benjamin is so white, and I don't know how my family is going to feel about me marrying a white guy. I'm not saying that those things probably do not come up. I'm not saying that those things are not valid. I just think that they are being played up for the show. Because when Benjamin and Akinyi are walking in her neighborhood, Akinyi is just like, everybody's staring and looking at us because they've never seen a white person in this village before. And I get that, right? I get that that is probably a thing. But don't you think, Akinyi, that they're also staring because there's a freaking film crew filming somebody from their neighborhood? Like, I would be looking too. I would be like, what the hell is going on? What is Akinyi doing filming? Is it a TV show or is she on Cops? Like, I would want to know what was happening. I would not be focused on the fact that it's a white guy. I think the people in her village was just like, why is Akinyi filming? What TV show is this? I think they were more enamored by the cameras and the crew than Benjamin being white. Benjamin is so corny. He is so corny. So he finally goes to meet Akinyi's mother and father. The dad doesn't show up because he's white. They doing too much. Y'all doing too much and y'all making me starting to question it. That's what I'm saying. Give me a show, but don't give me too much where I'm just like, something is up here. Something smells fake. Anyway, he walks in and he's talking to her mom, and Benjamin, in his corny comedy, he comes in and he's just like, I don't bite. I don't bite. I'm safe. And I'm like, sit down and eat this fish brain. Can we talk about when the family made him eat this fish? Because Akinyi told him where he had to sit. She also told him it's rude for you not to eat the food, so you have to eat everything. Oh my goodness, Benjamin almost died. Akinyi's brother fed him the fish brains, and Benjamin, the brother was like, is it good? And Benjamin was just like, Benjamin was about to pass out. He got really red. His eyes were rolling in the back of his head, and he kept on saying that that food was delicious. I was like, Akinyi, this man loves you because he about to die just so he can bring you back home and have his way with you, because Benjamin gives me a freak. It be them ones. It be them ones, that corny pastor from Middle America who like black women. Akinyi, are you ready? Are you ready for what Pastor Benjamin about to do to you, girl? Child, you better have a safe word because you gonna need it. Then we get this scene where Akinyi runs out of the house because she's mad at her brother for what he said about Benjamin. But I watched it again. I didn't hear what her brother said. Do you guys know what her brother said about Benjamin and pissed Akinyi off? Because she left and she wouldn't even talk to Benjamin. She's telling him that her brother said something really terrible about him. That's why she left, and she doesn't want to talk about it. But she still wants this dude to stay with her brother. And Benjamin does it. Let me tell you something. If I was Benjamin, I would be like, I'm not comfortable now. I wasn't comfortable before, but I came here because you wanted me to come here. Now you're telling me that he said something not nice about me. I'm going to my Airbnb where I'm comfortable and where I can vomit up this fish brain because I'm about to die. Poor guy, he could not handle those spices. But let me say this. Do y'all know what kind of fish that was? Because it looked delicious. I just knew it was well seasoned. I just knew. And Benjamin being grossed out by the brains because it's an American thing. We don't eat brains over here, cultural, right? But I guarantee you the flesh of that fish, especially that middle part, where you want to just leave that flesh with all that seasoning and had it been roasted over the fire. Whoo, what kind of fish was that? I got to try it. I could smell the seasonings. I was like, ooh, let's get a little bit, So we end this episode with scamming Uncle Caesar. I'm not really going to talk about him because there's nothing to talk about. There's nothing to talk about. Uncle Caesar is basically just like vlogging at this point because Maria is not participating in this show. We do not have a couple. We just have Uncle Caesar vlogging and telling us that this woman is coming and she's never going to show up. We all get that at this point. So the storyline to me is not interesting because it's not a couple. There's nothing for him to play off. He's going to be vlogging this entire season. All we got was shots of him in the hotel room next to some candy, thongs or whatever. It just seems like they went to a sex shop. Some intern on the show went to a sex shop, bought a bunch of, sex goodies that were on clearance, threw them over the bed, and just filmed Caesar in this room. And after they yelled cut, he went back out into the resort and started living his best life. It just gives me a scamming storyline. Also, a not interesting storyline, because it was interesting to me when I thought we were going to meet Maria, but now it looks like we're never going to meet or see her. So what is the point now of filming Caesar? This is not a Caesar YouTube vlog channel. This is 90 Day Fiance. Give me a couple or get this man off the show. So that's it for me. This episode was really funny. Aside from Uncle Caesar and his vlogs, I had a good time. I enjoyed it. I had a good time. And if you had a good time watching this review, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will see you Sunday? Yeah. And I will see you next Sunday for the following episode of... No, is this the other way? I'll do too many 90 Day Fiancés. I will see you next Sunday for 90 Day Fiancé before the 90 days. Love you guys. See you soon. Bye.